Hello, you beautiful people. Let's talk about Gen Z dating. That wonderful experience where you have access to thousands of people and still end up alone on your couch, staring at your phone, questioning your life choices. Because let's be honest, it's never been easier to meet people and never been harder to build something real with someone. Swipe, ghost, repeat. You know that feeling, right? How did we go from this, to this, to this, to this? Why is modern dating such an absolute mess? Well, it's all fun and games at first. Matches, notifications, new messages. You're basically a kid in a candy store, and your parents aren't watching. Your brain is in full party mode, and there's a reason for that. Every new match activates a small reward circuit in your brain, releasing dopamine, the neurotransmitter linked to motivation, pleasure, and anticipation. So, it's not just nice, it's biologically rewarding. And that's where the problem begins. Dating apps know your brain very well, and they rely on a very specific mechanism in psychology called intermittent reinforcement. Think of slot machines in a casino. Same logic. You never know when the mini jackpot is going to hit. Then there's this whole system of weird behaviors and unspoken rules that turns Gen Z romance into Titanic on fast forward. You came for the love story, but somehow you always end up at the sinking part. Here's a short list of things you have to deal with. You're texting your match. Simple, right? Oh no, quite the opposite. You can't write too much, or you seem boring. Emojis? Forget it. Now you're uncool. Reply too fast? Nope, stop right there. Now you're too available and a little bit desperate. Now imagine you pass the first test and you're actually on a date. The bill arrives. Who's supposed to pay? Believe it or not, this is a real problem these days, and the right answer isn't common sense. It's whatever the people you follow on social media say it is. Say you passed that test too, and you've been on a handful of dates by now. So, are you officially in a relationship? Wrong again. It's now called a situationship. Gen Z dating culture doesn't really do labels. See where I'm going with this? How is your brain not supposed to be anxious and confused? But there's more. The classic clash. Expectation versus reality. Before you even meet someone in real life, your brain has already done half the work, building a full profile based on photos, messages, and tiny little clues. And you're thinking, this is it. Spoiler, it rarely is. In reality, you show up to the date and think, this person got swapped last minute. Another one I know you're familiar with, uneven effort. You spent 3 hours getting ready to present the best version of yourself, and your lovely date shows up in a tracksuit, looking like they just stepped out because they had to. If you relate to the second person, come on, do better. You try to laugh it off, but your brain is reading something else entirely. Investment versus return. And when that balance doesn't add up, yeah, you guessed it, more frustration. Sadly, it doesn't stop there. I'm sure you've heard of a fun little phenomenon called love bombing. You're suddenly in a full-on war zone of compliments, excitement, little gifts, big declarations. Your brain is firing dopamine like there's no tomorrow. And then, nothing. Your date changes behavior, ghosts you, or worse, unmatches you. This isn't just annoying, it's chemically confusing. The truth is that all these confusing, bad experiences are actually micro-rejections that build up over time. You tell yourself, it doesn't affect me, but it does. Your brain is keeping track of every single one of them, quietly signaling, do something. This isn't going well. Yep, dating burnout. And when you've had enough, let me guess, you delete the apps. Ah, the classic cycle. You delete them. You feel at peace for a while. Then you don't meet anyone. So you reinstall them just to take a look. And it all starts again. This actually has a name, a behavioral loop, a pattern your brain learns and repeats over and over again. So I have a simple question. Is this actually helping us? Or are we just stuck in a system that gives you maximum choice and minimum connection? Because let's face it, sometimes it feels like dating apps sold you Romeo and Juliet. And what you actually get is just the poison scene while your better half has already left the building. Now hear me out. I'm not suggesting we ignore technology and go back to writing love letters by candlelight. But maybe, just maybe, it wouldn't hurt to find a balance between the algorithm and the real world. Like putting a bit of the old-fashioned approach back into the mix. Who knows? Maybe the love of your life isn't 3 swipes away, but in a place where people actually exist. That's it for now. Drop a like, hit subscribe, you know the deal. Catch you in the next one.